I've spoken about entangle before, referencing its ability to halve the movement speed of those who go through it. What I didn't say about it was its potential for dealing massive damage at low levels. I'm Matthew, welcome to 5e Strats. This combo goes online at level 3, and requires a Druid, as well as a Sorcerer or a Wizard, with the aarakocra race. First, have the Druid cast Spike Growth so that its border just touches the enemy. After this, your other caster should cast the spell Gust of Wind on it. In premise, Gust of Wind creates a 10 by 60 foot pillar of wind emanating from you in a direction of your choosing, and forces an opponent to make a strength saving throw when starting in it, being pushed back 15 feet on failed save. This concentration spell lasts for 1 minute, and you can change its direction with a bonus action. If this wasn't enough, movement speed is halved when someone is trying to move towards the flow of the wind. On the enemy's turn, assuming it fails its strength saving throw and is pushed back 15 feet, will take 64 piercing damage from Spike Growth, given that every 5 feet traveled through Spike Growth deals 2d4 damage to one doing so. Assuming the enemy doesn't have any ranged options, it can do one of two things. It can either make its way towards the casters, or away from them in some way. If it tries to go towards the casters, it will need to expend 60 feet of movement speed to do so, its movement speed being halved by Spike Growth, then being halved again for going against Gust of Wind. If it chooses to move in a direction other than the casters, then it will need to expend at least 30 feet of movement, due to Spike Growth making it difficult terrain. No matter which direction they choose, then traveling 3 squares will mean they take 64 damage from Spike Growth. The issue with it moving towards the casters is that at the start of its next turn it will need to repeat the strength saving throw, meaning, once again, 15 feet on failed save, repeating the process, and making it take an additional 64 damage. The alternative isn't much better though, as the aarakocra Wizard or Sorcerer can fly in front of the creature after it's escaped the Spike Growth, meaning once again, at the start of its next turn, Gust of Wind will force it to make a strength saving throw, potentially forcing it to repeat the process and taking an additional 64 damage. The best move for the enemy is to use the dash action to get as far away from the trap as possible. This way, they can't be blown right back into it. The issue, of course, is that even if it does this, then it's still putting the casters at an advantage, because, as said, it doesn't have any ranged options, and the casters most likely do. To make matters worse, the casters can simply camp at the Spike Growth, meaning that if the enemy wants to get close to them and deal damage, it will have to potentially get in range to be blown back into the Spike Growth, repeating the process once again. There is one potential weakness to this strategy, however. The DM can rule that Spike Growth can only deal damage if an enemy walks through it, meaning Gust of Wind pushing them wouldn't activate damage. For this reason, you should ask your DM how they interpret the spell before trying out this combo. And with that said, please like the video and subscribe. I could use the dopamine rush. Try leaving a comment, I could really use the engagement. And with that out of the way, have a good day.